Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in. And today we're going to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers and their quarterback situation. Now, personally, I believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers, the way this offseason has gone up to this point that I'm recording this video, they backed themselves into a corner to where it is Aaron Rodgers or bust, and they need to come away from this offseason signing Aaron Rodgers to this roster. And I'm going to talk about why both sides truly need each other going into the 2025 NFL season. So make sure you guys leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel as that continues to help this channel to grow. But without further ado, let's dive into it. There are a couple of reasons why I say that the Aaron Rodgers-Pittsburgh Steelers marriage has to happen. And one reason is the way that the Pittsburgh Steelers football team is built now. They are built to win games. When we look at the Pittsburgh Steelers on the defensive side of the ball, whether they have TJ Watt, who they're eventually going to have to pay, Cam Heyward is still been productive at his older age. You still have Mikah Fitzpatrick, Patrick Queen, Joey Porter Jr. in their secondary, who I'd start to think is emerging to a shutdown corner. That defense and how it's built, it is a defense that is ready to win now. It is not a point of that defense where they can take a hit, they can take a rebuilding season, they can take a season where they take a step back. And then we look up for the Pittsburgh Steelers' history as a franchise, especially over the last 15 to 20 years with Mike Tomlin as a head coach. They have never had a losing season in Mike Tomlin's tenure as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So what that does is eventually give you out of selecting one of those top tier quarterbacks in the draft. Now, we know most of that tenure was spent with Ben Roethlisberger as their quarterback. After Ben Roethlisberger, the quarterback position has kind of been, questionable at best. Whether you draft Kenny Pickett, whether you have Mitchell Trubisky, whether you have Russell Wilson or Justin Fields last year, who I think Justin Fields was a guy that the Steelers organization did not give much faith to. And you have Mason Rudolph that you had, and now you sign back this offseason to be on your roster. If you are the Pittsburgh Steelers and you are going into the 2025 regular season with Mason Rudolph as your starting quarterback, you are a franchise going to set yourself back. You're not going to be as competitive, especially with the teams in that division where we're talking about the Cincinnati Bengals with Joe Burrow, who I think that is a team that could possibly take a step forward. You still have the reigning division champion Baltimore Ravens in that division. Even though Cleveland is not really that good of a football team, they have their own quarterback issues. But then you look across the AFC, whether you're talking a guy like Josh Allen, whether you're talking about a Patrick Mahomes, a Justin Herbert, that is in your own conference that you have to deal with. And then on top of that, you are a Pittsburgh Steelers football team that could go into a season with Mason Rudolph. That is not going to be the case. It shouldn't be the case, as they need to get this Aaron Rodgers deal done and get it done sooner than later. The reason I say the Pittsburgh Steelers really need to get this deal done is, number one, you have all of your major quarterback options pretty much gone. You have Sam Darnold, who is now signed with the Seahawks. Geno Smith got traded to the Raiders. Russell Wilson, the guy who they had last year, is signed with the New York Giants. Justin Fields has signed with the New York Jets. Matthew Stafford went back to the Rams. Kirk Cousins could possibly be an option, but I think Aaron Rodgers at this point is still a bit of a better option than Kirk Cousins, even though Kirk Cousins, I still believe is a possibility that they could go. I don't think they want to take on that salary that Kirk Cousins has because he has a lot of money left on his deal. And then on top of that, you can get Aaron Rodgers maybe a little bit cheaper than what you could get, and using in trade package and trade value to get a Kirk Cousins. This is why I feel that the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers marriage has to happen going into this draft, going into this season, because the Pittsburgh Steelers as a football team cannot afford to go into the season with Mason Rudolph as their quarterback. Now, we know Aaron Rodgers is 41, 42 years old. He's had a somewhat solid season in 2024, but when we're talking about what he could possibly do in this offense, you bring in a guy like a DK Metcalf, you have George Pickens on your roster, Freiermuth, who I still think is one of the better tight ends in this league, and for them to not to have a solid quarterback for them to throw the ball to, and then especially when you're talking about losing a guy like Najee Harris, which is going to put a little bit more pressure on whatever quarterback they decide to bring, which is Aaron Rodgers, a guy who I think is well suited to handle the pressure of maybe not having so much of a good running game. We'll see how that still plays out down the line, whether they get into the draft or get a running back. They still need to shore up a bit of this offensive line. The precarious position that the Steelers always find themselves in is because they are not a football team that looks to lose games at any point, no matter what the quarterback situation is, no matter what the defense is, no matter the injuries. They are always in the middle of the pack or above. So they are not in a situation where they can go get themselves a Cam Ward. They can go get themselves a Shedeur Sanders. And I think a team is going to reach and probably go up a little bit for a guy like a Jackson Dart, who's probably going to get more conversation over these next couple of weeks as teams still have to get their quarterback situation solved. So the Steelers are not in a position where they can develop a guy, they can put a guy in there to rebuild. We've seen how that went with Kenny Pickett. That team was still ready to win. That team was still ready to compete. And the Kenny Pickett, I don't think truly developed in that Pittsburgh Steelers system because he had to need some time to develop. And the Steelers, the way they are built, are not in a position where they can develop a guy. They need a guy that can come in and win football games the way they are structurally built on both sides of the football, because you don't just go get a DK Metcalf and then give him a 4-year, $132 million extension just for him to play and develop a rookie quarterback, and a team is going to set back and lose football games. That's not the way the Steelers work. So when you're talking about the Steelers and the Aaron Rodgers marriage, and I personally think Aaron Rodgers still has some solid football left in him. Do I think Aaron Rodgers makes this team a Super Bowl contender? No. Do I think this makes them a playoff team? Possibly. And if they want to stay on that route, they're going to have to sign Aaron Rodgers. Or are they going to do the magical thing or the irregular thing for them is pull the plug and just develop and rebuild this team and start from scratch? This is not a franchise that's going to do that. This is not a team that is built to do that. So with the moves that they made and the things that they invested, especially on that defensive side of the ball, they need a competent offense. And what better quarterback, and I think not just better, only quarterback on the market that is warranted that is Aaron Rodgers. As much as you guys know I'm a Bears fan and I don't like Aaron Rodgers, we can't deny his greatness. He still has good football left. And if the Pittsburgh Steelers want to be in the contention for a playoff spot, maybe possibly a division, because we know Mike Tomlin coached football teams always overachieve no matter what, they are going to have to get Aaron Rodgers in under center. But those are my thoughts. Leave you guys' thoughts in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. APW Sports signing out. Peace.